Welcome to English Avenue. Let me ask you something really honest right now, and I want you to think about it for a second. How many times this week did you text someone first? How many times did you call someone just to check on them, but they never called you back? How many times have you tried so hard to keep a friendship alive, but it felt like you were doing all the work by yourself? If you're sitting there nodding your head right now, then this video is going to hit you hard, but in the best way possible. Because today, we're talking about something that most people are too afraid to say out loud. Stop chasing people and start building yourself. I know that sounds tough, maybe even a little cold, but by the end of this video, you're going to understand why this is the most loving thing you can do for your own life. And while you're listening, you're also going to practice your English with me. So make sure you stay till the very end, because this could be the message that changes everything. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more lessons like this, and let's get started. Here's the thing nobody wants to admit. You're exhausted, right? You wake up tired even after sleeping. You feel emotionally drained even when nothing major happened. You feel like you're running on empty, and you can't figure out why. Let me tell you why. It's because you've been chasing people who aren't chasing you back. You've been pouring your energy, your time, your attention into relationships that only go one way, and it's killing your spirit slowly. Think about it. You're always the one who texts first. You're always the one remembering birthdays. You're always the one asking, "Hey, how are you? Want to hang out?" And what do you get back? Late replies, excuses, canceled plans, or worse, complete silence. And every time that happens, a little piece of your confidence dies because you start asking yourself, am I annoying? Am I too much? Do they even like me? But here's the truth you need to hear. It's not about you. It's about them. Some people just take. They take your energy, they take your kindness, they take your effort, and they give nothing back. And the sad part is, you keep giving because you think maybe one day they'll appreciate you. Maybe one day they'll show up for you the way you show up for them. But that day never comes, and you just keep running on empty. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're driving down a one-way street every single day. You're bringing flowers, you're bringing gifts, you're bringing all this love and energy, but nobody's driving toward you. Nobody's meeting you halfway. Eventually, your car runs out of gas, and you're just stuck there wondering why you feel so alone. That's what chasing people feels like. It's a one-way street that leads to burnout. So, here's a little reality check for you. Take out your phone right now and scroll through your last 10 conversations. Who texted first? If it's you every single time, then you need to hear this. You're not building connections. You're building habits of chasing people who don't value your presence. Now, I know what you're thinking, but I don't want to be alone. I don't want to lose people. I get it, I really do. But let me tell you what actually happens when you stop chasing, and this might sting a little bit, but it's necessary. When you stop reaching out first, some people disappear. They just vanish like they were never really there. And yeah, that hurts. It hurts a lot at first, but here's what you need to understand. That's not rejection. That's revelation. You're not losing people. You're losing illusions. You're losing the fake idea that they cared as much as you did. Those people didn't leave because you stopped chasing. They were never really there in the first place. They just stuck around because you made it easy for them. You were always available, always understanding, always forgiving. But the moment you stopped doing all the work, they showed you their true colors. Let me share a quick example. There was this guy named Marcus. He had this friend he'd known since college. Every weekend, Marcus would call him, make plans, drive across town to hang out. One day, Marcus decided to try something. He stopped calling first. He wanted to see if his friend would reach out. 2 weeks went by, nothing. A month went by, still nothing. 3 months later, his friend finally texted him and said, "Yo, where you been, man? You disappeared." Marcus just smiled and replied, "I've been right here. Just stop chasing." That friendship ended, but Marcus said it was the most freeing moment of his life because he realized he'd been watering a plastic plant for years. It looked real, but it was never going to grow. So when you stop chasing, yeah, your circle gets smaller. But everything left in that circle is real. The people who stay, the people who actually reach out, the people who notice when you go quiet, those are your people. Everyone else was just taking up space. And honestly, that's okay. Not everyone is meant to walk with you forever. Some people are just chapters, not the whole book. The freedom that follows this realization is wild. You stop forcing conversations. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't care. You stop begging for basic respect and reciprocity. You finally start respecting your own time and energy. And this is where the shift happens. All that energy you were using to chase people, all those hours spent texting, waiting, wondering, stressing, you take all of that and you redirect it. You pour it into yourself. You start asking different questions in the morning. Not, who's going to text me today, but what am I building today? Not, why don't they care about me, but how can I take care of myself better? This is the shift from seeking approval to building yourself, and this is where your real life begins. Building yourself doesn't mean you become cold or shut people out. It just means you finally become your own priority. You start investing in the one relationship that's going to last your entire life, and that's the relationship with yourself. You start working on your body, taking walks, eating better, sleeping enough. You start feeding your mind, reading books, learning skills, practicing your English every single day. You start protecting your peace, setting boundaries, saying no to things that drain you, spending time in silence without feeling guilty about it. Here's a powerful way to think about it. Right now, your life is like a construction site. You can't build a strong house if you keep leaving the site every 5 minutes to check on people who aren't even building anything themselves. You gotta stay on your site. You gotta lay your bricks one by one. You gotta build your foundation strong. Let people see the finished house later. Stop giving tours of the mess. Just build. And when you do that, when you truly start focusing on yourself, something incredible happens. People start noticing, not because you're chasing them, but because you're glowing differently. You're walking differently. You're talking differently. Your whole energy shifts, and that energy is magnetic. But we're going to talk more about that later. For now, just remember this. The moment you stop running after people is the moment you start running toward your destiny. So take a deep breath and ask yourself, what am I building today? Because that question right there is going to change your entire. Okay, I get it. I need to stop chasing people and focus on myself. But how do I actually do that? Like, what does that look like in real life? I'm so glad you're still here because this is the part where everything clicks. This is where we stop talking about the problem and start building the solution. Focusing on yourself isn't some big dramatic thing where you delete all your contacts and move to the mountains. Nah, it's way simpler than that. It's about small daily choices that add up over time. It's about protecting your energy like it's the most valuable thing you own because, honestly, it is. So let me break down the exact system that's going to help you focus on yourself every single day. And trust me, this stuff works. first thing you got to do is change your mornings. I know you've heard this a million times, but hear me out. Most people wake up and the first thing they do is grab their phone. They check Instagram, they check their texts, they scroll through drama they don't even care about, and boom, before they even get out of bed, their energy is already leaking out. You're letting the world into your head before you even check in with yourself. So here's what you do instead. When you wake up, leave your phone on the other side of the room for just 5 minutes. Sit up, take a deep breath, and ask yourself 3 simple questions. How do I feel today? What do I need today? What am I building today? That's it. No pressure, no huge goals, just a simple check-in with yourself. This tiny habit centers you before the chaos rushes in, and it reminds you that your day belongs to you first, not to everyone else's expectations. Now let's talk about something nobody teaches you, and that's your energy budget. Think of your energy like money. You only got so much of it every day, and once it's gone, it's gone. So you gotta spend it wisely. Stop throwing your energy at people who don't invest anything back into you. I'm not saying be cold or cut everyone off, I'm just saying be smart. Give most of your energy to yourself, your goals, your health, your growth. Give some energy to the people who actually show up for you, the ones who text you back, the ones who care, and give zero energy to the people who only come around when they need something. When you start budgeting your energy like this, your whole life shifts because you stop feeling drained all the time. Here's the daily routine that changed everything for me. And I'm telling you, it's so simple you're going to think I'm playing. Every morning, take a 15-minute walk with no phone, no music, just you and your thoughts. Let your mind wander. Let yourself think. Then sometime during the day, practice your English for 10 minutes. It could be speaking out loud, shadowing a video, reading a paragraph from a book, anything. Just 10 minutes. At night, before you go to bed, write down one thing you did well that day. Just one. It could be as small as, I didn't check my phone for an hour, or I said no to something I didn't want to do. This routine keeps you grounded, keeps you growing, and keeps you connected to yourself. Now, I gotta be real with you about something that's probably gonna come up, and that's guilt. When you start focusing on yourself, you might feel guilty as hell. You might feel selfish. You might feel like a bad friend because you're not replying to texts right away, or because you're saying no to plans. Let me tell you something that's gonna set you free. Guilt is not proof that you're doing something wrong. Sometimes guilt just means you're doing something different, and different feels uncomfortable. You've been trained your whole life to put everyone else first. You've been told that self-care is selfish, that good people sacrifice themselves. So now, when you finally choose yourself, it feels wrong, even though it's the healthiest thing you've ever done. There's a big difference between being selfish and being self-focused. Selfish is taking from other people to benefit yourself. Self-focused is taking care of yourself so you don't break down. You're not being a bad person, you're being responsible for your own well-being. And yeah, it's gonna feel lonely at first. When you stop chasing, it gets quiet, real quiet. But there's a huge difference between loneliness and aloneness. Loneliness is when you feel empty because you think you need other people to feel whole. Aloneness is when you feel peaceful because you realize you're already whole by yourself. You're transitioning from one to the other, and that transition is uncomfortable, but it's growth. Let me tell you about this girl named Ava. She used to be the friend who did everything for everyone. If someone needed a ride at 2 a.m, Ava was there. If someone needed to vent for 3 hours, Ava listened. But nobody ever asked Ava how she was doing. One day she just got tired and she stopped reaching out first. Her phone went silent for weeks. She felt guilty, she felt lonely, she almost went back to her old ways. But instead, she started going to the gym. She started taking an online course. She started cooking real meals for herself instead of just grabbing fast food. 6 months later, she ran into one of her old friends at the coffee shop, and the friend said, "Ava, you look so different. What happened?" And Ava just smiled and said, "I stopped waiting for people to choose me. I chose myself." That's the energy we're building here. And here's the beautiful part that nobody tells you. When you build yourself, when you start glowing from the inside because you're taking care of your mind, your body, your goals, people notice. The right people start showing up. Not because you chase them, but because they see something real in you. You become like a lighthouse. You don't run around the ocean looking for ships to save. You just stand there, shine your light, and the ships that need you find their way to you. Real people don't need to be chased. They recognize value when they see it, and they move toward it naturally. So stop worrying about who's leaving. Start focusing on who you're becoming, because the person you're becoming is going to attract a completely different level of people, opportunities, and peace. So here's what I want you to do right now. Write this down somewhere you can see it every single day. I'm not chasing anyone anymore. I'm building myself, and the right people will find me. Say it out loud if you need to. Let it sink in. Your life is not a waiting room. Stop sitting around waiting for people to notice you, to choose you, to validate you. Get up and start building. Build your confidence, build your skills, build your English, build your future. And when you're done building, look around. The right people are going to be standing right there, not because you begged them to stay, but because they saw what you built and said, "I want to be part of that." If this message hit you, drop a like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and comment, "I choose myself," so we can build a whole community of people who are done chasing and ready to rise. Thanks for being here, and remember, you're worth every bit of effort you put into yourself. Now go focus on you, because that's where the magic happens.